Rise and shine, beautiful souls. Have you guys ever heard the idea that if you die, do not go into the light because you will only be cycled back to this plane of existence and have to live again in this reality? Whatever you do, don't go into the light because you will only reincarnate. Have you guys ever heard this? Well, that's because light is represented as life and darkness represents death. Okay, now, of course, it means represents good and evil as well, esoterically. And that's why we're going to get into this knowledge a little bit today, okay? Guys, for all of you who don't understand what esoteric means, it means uncommonly known. So esoteric knowledge means uncommon knowledge, or knowledge that was normally just exclusive to only people in secret societies or occults, okay? And so they symbolize things in a way of where they communicated in a specific way and understood in a specific way. Do you understand? So I'm going to break a little bit of this down, and hopefully we can get to the end of what light and darkness actually means, okay? Light and darkness, yin and yang, many of us call it, right? If you guys never saw that, it's a circle and it looks like two fish shaped exactly alike and they're chasing each other, right? Light chases darkness and darkness chases light. And we break down light conceptually to mean good, life, okay? Where darkness means evil, death, evil or death, okay? So we've represented these concepts in entities like God, Satan, Horus, and Set, okay? Going way back to before we had a God or a Satan, we had a Horus and a Set, okay? Horus and Set was Egypt's idea of the light and darkness, or the yin and yang. Horus, of course, represented the day. Horus is an anagram for hours. H-O-U-R-S spells hours. H-O-R-U-S spells Horus. Horus represents the sun. People would actually say, where is Horus right now? In other words, what's the hour? The absence of Horus was Horus's brother, Set. Okay, so you had Horus and then you had Set for when Horus was gone. The idea was Horus and Set was always at war. And whenever Horus was, when you experienced Horus, when Horus was shining bright in the sky, Set was defeated or he had been killed. But Set rises from the dead, and then he goes back to get Horus, and then he kills Horus. Horus raises again the next day to shine bright again. And this war rages on, okay? Good and evil rages on, okay? Now, this is a beautiful concept because it gives us some understanding. But I want to break this down a little bit deeper, okay? Many of us think that light and darkness is good and evil, literally. So we fear the darkness. So we've taken the concepts to mean literal. Okay, so now darkness literally means death. Okay, and light literally means life. This is why whenever you someone has a bad attitude, you'll say that they are dark, or if they have a negative type mindset, they have a dark mindset, or if they seem like death, look like death, they're dark. Okay, someone who is a kind-hearted person, we say they represents light, right? I can see the light all over you. This is what we say to each other using these concepts. Okay, but I want to tell you, there's need for both. We should learn how to wield darkness and light, because neither is greater than the other. If you look at light, you can see that light travels at a certain speed. Well, look at darkness. They say darkness travels at a certain speed, but it also says darkness is not an entity as light is. It's actually that the absence of light is darkness, okay? So what is darkness, family? When you look in the sky, you see space. You got the stars, and then you have the space, which is the darkness. Many people believe that the stars are just being held up there by the darkness, that the darkness itself is solid, okay? So people have different frames of thought about what we see up there in that night sky. You understand? So I want you guys to look at it and understand that that space around the stars, whether you think it's solid or if it's space, actually, it still is representation of the good and the bad, or they're still both needed. You can see a purpose for the space, because without the space, without the darkness, the sun don't shine so bright. But it's a little bit deeper than that, okay? Darkness represents your thoughts, because in your head there is no light, okay? Babies are made in darkness. Seeds sprout in darkness, okay? Eggs are hatched in darkness. Eggs are laid or formed in darkness. You understand? Your thoughts is in darkness. Your dreams are in darkness. Your hopes are in darkness. In fact, the reason you believe you experiencing light in your head is because your eyes bring light into your mind. Okay, so you are breaking light down into images. You understand? But inside of your head, there is no light. It is completely dark. You understand? So you live in the darkness and you are observing the light. In fact, your frame of thought and your way of thinking is also in the darkness. So you represent both. You are yin and yang. You are forever balancing of the two energies. They're not good and evil. It's simply as above, so below, or as within, so without. All these concepts you heard your whole life are literally talking about yin and yang, or polarizing energy. Just conceptual ways of thinking, family. So watch how this impacts you. When you look out into the world, light or life, okay, it's in your darkness that you process it. Okay, so it's in your darkness that you even get your experience. Your emotions are all in your dark place. This is why I keep telling you guys, be a master of your emotions. Emotions cannot be seen. You can't go anywhere and find love, hate, joy, anxiety, depression, any of these emotions that you feel. They cannot be found out in reality. They exist in your darkness, in your dark place. So you must learn to wield those emotions. Okay, so they don't affect your life, your external playground, the place that you create in. You create in this world, but you do your thinking here. Do you understand? This is why conceptually, or in the Bible, of course, it speaks about God creating light from the darkness, that the world was darkness, and then God creates the light. From your dark place, you create ideas, you create light, and then whenever they come out here into your external world, they manifest into physical, tangible things. Okay, your ideas become ideas that people can think about and move forward in. Okay, but nothing happens until you let it out of here. You have a wealth of treasure deep inside of you in the darkness. Okay, your skill sets, your artwork, your drawings, your books that you haven't written, your songs that you have yet to sing, they all exist right now. They are just in your dark place. You understand? If you guys think about it, we are so afraid of the unknown, and that's what darkness truly represents, the unknown. And the unknown is forever. Forever. It is before you were born and after you die. This is why we fear death, because it's the unknown. We don't know where we were before we got here. We don't know where we go when we leave. We don't know if we get to experience another experience or anything, or is it just completely over? Many people think they will go be with who we call God, and based on whatever form of thought that you have. Many people believe that we will reincarnate, and then many people believe that it's just over after that, that this is just a once in a lifetime experience, literally. You understand? But regardless of what you think about what happens when you go, it does represent the unknown, because none of us truly know if there is anything after this. Even if we truly believe we do know, if we've had literature that told us it was something else after this, if we have not died and experienced it, it exists in our darkness, in our thought world, in our imagination, in our fantasies, or in our fears, nightmares. All of these explain your darkness, okay? The light, like I said, represents life or experience. But just like I said, darkness holds those stars together. Imagine darkness is like consciousness, okay? Your consciousness is what is holding the light together, okay? Holding the physical realm in its place. It's where you perceive the physical realm, where you get your understanding of the physical realm. When someone says something or does something to you in this physical realm, it is in your spiritual realm or in your dark place that you process it, where you feel pain, joy, or whatever the emotion is going to be based on what they said. Okay, so please understand how powerful your dark place is. Your light represents your dark place. Your light is a physical manifestation of your dark place. This is why the word becomes flesh. The word represents dark place or thought or spirituality, where flesh represents the physicality. Do you understand? So in your physical realm is where you feel, inside of your body is where you feel the emotions, and we act out of them. But if we learn to be a wielder of our emotions, we can master them, knowing that emotions should not control us. We should only experience the emotions and learn through your emotions, for you are not your emotions. But whenever we act out of anger, we say, I did it because I was mad, claiming that I was mad. If you're angry, you say, I'm mad, or I'm happy, I'm sad. Sounds like you're claiming to be the emotion, when you have to understand that emotions pass through you. They are just but a piece of a part of your dark place, something else for you to examine. When you have dreams, they are for you to examine, not to wake up and be in fear and project that on your loved ones. I had a dream you cheated on me. I had a dream that you died. I had a dream that you were pregnant. I had a dream that, and these dreams seem to make us, wake up upset or whatever at the person that we love. That's because it seems so real. You understand? But these are moments for you to this is where you are actually in your meditation. When you are in this world, you're dealing with all of the traumas and the actual version of you, of course, but in this physical realm, you think this is you. And this is why we neglect this side, the darkness, okay? It's in here where you're going to heal from your trauma. So don't think that this place is evil. It is not evil. It is you. It is the unknown. It's the part of you that you're learning. You understand? You think you know you because you're looking at your patterns in life that were done in the external. You could say, well, I did this thing and I did this thing and I made this decision here and I made this decision here. This must be who I am. Actually, no. That's the physical manifestation or the physical embodiment of who you were. So who you are in here shapes who you are out here. So you got to deal with who you are in here because the word becomes flesh. This is why I say anything you want to be in this realm, you must first go to your secret place, into your darkness, and birth the new version of you. It comes out into the light once you've birthed it in here. But it's not without work. It's not without having to be accountable to truly being great. You have to rethink all of your ways. Because whenever you have certain thoughts or things happen to you, if you still have a certain frame of thought, your brain goes on a certain route. Okay, so if someone calls you a name, if your first response is anger, if your first response is retaliation or revenge or to confront that, that's going to be your first route. The first thing that you're going to think to do is to respond in that way. And if you're not thinking, that's exactly how you're going to respond. And someone could control you because they already know how you're going to act. Okay, because we're that easy to figure out when someone's watching us. Okay, because we tend to react the same way off of things. Okay, and most of the time we take pride in reacting that way. If we believe if somebody cusses us, we should cuss them out, then we take pride in that. Let me tell you what I told that mother, right? I went slam off on them. And we tend to think that our anger justifies the means. Okay, but you don't have to respond angry because you're angry. Okay, or you don't have to respond angrily because you're angry. Okay, this is for you to have tact and move differently, because you're going to affect your life with the decisions you make, not the thoughts you make, not the thoughts you have. So you can think about hurting a person, you could think about revenge, but if you don't act on that, it will have no effect on your life, on your light. Do you understand? So if you look at these, when you look and see in all these different movies where they have checkerboard floors and they do many different things where they can represent light and darkness for you, this is literally what is meant by that. Okay, so when you see light and darkness, it's not for you to say that's evil or that's necessarily good. It's neither. It's just light and darkness. It's something that we experience. We experience both, but we try and conceptualize it in a way, in a frame of thought, so people can grasp it. So when they say, are you a light being or a dark being, they say, are you a negative person or a positive person? Are you yin or are you yang? Okay, do you like horror movies? Do you like movies that make you feel fear? Do you like movies where there's a lot of hurting each other, or there's a lot of drama, people cheating on each other, hurting each other? Then you are a dark person. This is why we say change your diet, change what you allow into you, because what you're watching, you're typically going to react sort of to what you're taking into you. This is why we say you are what you eat. If you take these things out of your life, then this is you going on a spiritual diet. So if you are life, or if you are yang, or if you are the light side of it, if you're the positive side of it, then you're not going to be watching those things that are filled with rumors and chaotic arguments and toxic arguments between relationships, causing you not to trust anybody in this world. Okay, you're not going to be watching horror movies where people are always getting mangled and ripped apart and there's always blood and gore. You're not going to watch all of these crime movies where people are being hurt and assaulted. You see what I'm saying? You're going to search for different content, and different things will fuel you. You'll look for things where people are in love and happy, and things that make you learn. Okay, not that either makes you good or evil. It's just two different forms of entertainment. And if you guys are on here watching, you guys are saying to yourself, well, I like both types of movies. I like different types of content. Absolutely, because we work with the light and the darkness. Okay, so we are emotional beings. We are energy beings, and that's what emotions are, energy. We are wielding our emotions. Some of them are negative, some of them are powerful, some of them are positive, but we are the wielders of both, non-negative or non-positive. We are the entity that's wielding these energies, that's experiencing these energies and acting out in these energies, creating off of these energies. Do you understand? I'm hoping that this makes a little bit more sense to you guys. Okay, so with this frame of thought, you understand that there's no need to be to actually think that light or darkness has any type of physical power to hurt you or anything like that. You understand? It's just a way of understanding things. So when you guys hear me or anyone else say, you know, esoterically speaking, or in esoterics, this is what this means. It means uncommonly known. You understand? So not many people know this because it's secret knowledge, it's ancient knowledge that only a few people know, only a few people are exposed to, only a few people are curious about it. You understand? And so I'm curious about those types of things. So I love to see how they thought way back in the day and see how that frame of thought, you know, kind of evolves into our frame of thought now. And it also intrigues me how people who are unfamiliar with that frame of thought, you know, think it's actually evil and be afraid of it. You understand? So it's amazing to me how, you know, certain things just scare people so badly when it's really just the unknown, and people fear the unknown, you know? So just know that there's a whole lot more that you don't know than what you do know. So it's safer to live in the unknown, and that way you look at yourself like a learner. You're always forever learning. But if you live in the known, you'll become arrogant, conceited, thinking that you know everything, and you will always fear the unknown. And you will think that what you know, you actually know. But what you know, you don't even know. You just have conceptualized it and believe it that way. So you must always challenge yourself to what you know and what you don't know. Look to the unknown. I promise you, family, it will do nothing but make you stronger. Yes, it will challenge your known. It will challenge your light, okay? But some of the things that you will learn in the unknown will change your life for the better. It'll give you a better view, a better perspective of what you're seeing. You understand? So if you're seeing things happen in this world and you don't understand them, then enhance your unknown. Get knowledge on it. This way you're not so judgmental, okay? So a lot of times, because we've conceptualized light and darkness, we think that if someone's doing something that seems dark, that it's automatically negative. Well, no, family. And it's like I told you guys, your babies are birthed, your babies are created in the darkness. Your sperm, before it's transferred to your queen, that is in darkness. Your thoughts are in darkness. Your dreams are in darkness. Your hopes, your nightmares, your fears, all of these things literally live in your dark place. It's the light, the external world, where these things are manifested into a reality. So if you harboring anger, if you're harboring hate, any of these things that exist in your dark place, fears about being successful, fears about challenging yourself, all these things exist in here. You can literally, there's no time in here. There's time outside of here. That's why Horus is indicating time. Well, in here, it's timeless. This is why I say it's the forever world in here. Okay, it's before you were here, it's while you're here, because you still have thought, you still use this mostly to wield your existence, to see your existence, to understand your reality. You understand it through your thought and your own trauma and memory and things of that nature, right? The language you understand, all these things are in here, okay? And of course, when you pass on, we don't know where we go, and it also represents the unknown. So please know that you are forever being having a light experience, so to speak. You are a dark being having a light experience, so to speak. And that's what you are as in human form, is having a light experience, so to speak. Does that make sense to you guys? If I say it that way, you are spiritual. In other words, your darkness is your spiritual place, and it is forever long. This is why whenever you go inside of here, time doesn't exist, and you can literally change yourself and manifest a different version of yourself, and it doesn't take the time that it would normally take you out here in the external world. Have you guys ever had an epiphany, and in that moment, that thought that crossed your mind, you learned more than you ever learned in school? But it took you time and effort in school, years of learning in school, to be able to gain a certain amount of information. Like if you guys see a television series, you know it's going to take you at least the hours of the length that it plays to watch it, right? You don't get to speed it up and fast forward it into your memory. But if you notice on the Matrix, they could download things instantly. That's because it was happening in the spirit world, in the mind. So the person that you want to be, go into your darkness and begin to form you from the inside out. This is why we say as within, as without. As within, so without. Who you are in here will reflect who's out here. So if you don't like what you're seeing out here, if you don't like the world you're seeing in your light, in your reality, then change yourself in your darkness and you will create a different world in your reality. If you don't understand money, it's in your darkness that you got to learn it. Do you understand? But it's in your darkness that you have to reconsider your life. So please know you speed up time for yourself when you spend time in solitude in this dark place, in your meditation, in your private closet, okay? It's a beautiful place inside of there. I promise you, it's so vast. From this is how all of our mechanics were made. Don't you guys discount the dark place. Airplanes come from here. Computers come from here. All knowledge comes from here. All religions come from here. All comic books, all anime, everything you can think of that you can't go out and touch. Now, you can go out and touch your physical technologies, don't get me wrong. But even the things you cannot touch, the ideas, all these things come from the mind of us. The mind is powerful. Don't forget that this is the greater part of you, okay? It's like seeing an iceberg barely over the crest of the water, but you don't see underneath the water, and you don't see how large the actual iceberg is. Your spiritual, it completely is vastly larger than your physical. You are not who you see in the mirror. This is why I keep saying you are eternal. Okay, you can go anywhere through here. You ever been daydreaming and just get lost in thought? Okay, come back a whole new person because you reconsider something about your life. You ever be meditating and come back a whole different person? You ever hear a thought and you know you'll never be the same again because it changed your life? You know, but physically, in order to change your life, you know it takes time and effort, okay? And you have to keep stacking good days on top of good days and being consistent to change your physical life. Well, in your spiritual world, you can correct things in an instant. You just got to be willing to put the time in, put the work in, okay, family? So be encouraged knowing that you are the wielder of both lightness and darkness, and these are supposed to elevate you. This is why I say you are God. You are the God that works with light and darkness, okay? Light and darkness are not entities of their own. These are what you process and you call it light and darkness, okay? Now you can see light have an effect on this world in terms of it brightens our world up, but you can't go anywhere and catch light in a bottle. You see what I'm saying? Because soon as darkness comes, that jar will, if you just clamp a jar shut with light, soon as the darkness comes, inside that jar will be darkness also. But if you focus light, it can create a powerful laser, something that can be touched, something that the effect can be literally felt. You can feel the heat from light, but that's heat, that's not light. You understand? It's the same thing with darkness. If you focus darkness, it becomes very powerfully absorbent. You ever look at perfect black? Light doesn't reflect off of it. It seems to absorb the light and you can't see the light reflect off of it. So things look way different on perfect black. Maybe that's what a black hole is. It absorbs things and things get sucked into it. But as far as the eye can see, family, we can't grab onto light nor darkness. They are frames of thought and ideas. So if we're conceptualizing light and darkness as your spiritual and as your physical, then you know that in your spiritual world is where all of your thoughts, emotions, dreams, and all these things lie. Learn to use these things to create your reality, your light, your physical plane. It's yours to create on. It's a canvas. But you are in here in the darkness. Don't ever get it twisted, family. So the darkness is not a place of torture and torment. Many of you guys are afraid of the dark for that very reason. But there is darkness that fills your head, even if you don't understand that. All you got to do is close your eyes and you will begin to experience that darkness. That darkness is always there. Only with your eyes open are you able to bring light in and reflect on that light, okay? Manifest or materialize or metabolize that light in the way that you see light. But other animals don't see light the way you do. They don't process light the way you do. So please understand that, okay? All right, family. Hopefully this right here made you guys think. Hopefully it challenges you guys to be a wielder of your emotions and do not let your emotions control you. They exist in your dark place and you should be a master of them, a master of your communications, a master of your understanding, a master of negotiating your emotions, understanding them, and then being able to move outside of the emotions, even though you feel the emotion, because you are a master wielder of that emotion. You understand? Emotions shouldn't cause us to lose it all, okay? Cause us to wreak havoc. They should not, okay? So learn to master that world. If you're afraid of that world, you're not going to get any better at it because you'll never go there. So deal with yourself in that world so you can be a great light being, so you can be a great creator in the realm of reality. But you have to first deal with yourself in here, okay? Please understand that all songs, any great thing starts in here before it can ever make it out into our reality, into our physical plane of existence, okay? See you guys soon with another topic. Be evolution, be the change that you want to see. No candle loses its flame from lighting another. And if you were to ever find yourself in the middle of chaos, it's definitely in that chaos that you find yourself. And get this, no ship can cross the shore. No ship can cross the sea until it has the courage to leave the shore. All right, family, peace.